Yes, I'm going to reclaim host. Um, I'm going to go this way. Okay. Very dim. There we go. Okay, hi everybody. I see familiar people and I see new names. Hi Cam. Okay, give me 1 second and we are going to start. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. Hi Franca, hi Sandra. Thanks for joining, ladies. Hi, everybody. Okay, just a show of hands, who here is not a part of my program? So brand new to, you're following me on Instagram, so you're not completely new to my world, but it's kind of your first time attending any of my calls or masterclass. Hi, Debbie, Lisa, welcome. Hi, Lena. Cool. Okay. Hi, Mary. I know, Sandra, you are. Okay, so this is going to be, it's good information for whether you're existing in my program because it's extra theory, and it's a good introduction to macros and kind of what we do and what we focus on in my program. So let's get started. I think there's probably lots of people watching the replay. I know that we have a big list. So, if it's your first time hearing about macros, don't put too much pressure on yourself. It does take a lot of practice and a lot of understanding. And so that's why we are going to leave this. And that's why, in my program, we spend an entire month teaching. And then after, like the ladies are required to understand macros as of month 2, we start the learning. And then it's vital information that they continue to understand because it's really important in their final phase of the program. And I'll talk more about that later. So macros, I think a lot of women, back when 12 years ago, I've been teaching macros since the day I opened up my store. And that's because, the reason why, I'm going to stop this share for a second because I just want to provide some insight on why you even have to learn this. So back when nobody was talking about it, this was a really tough sell for me. when I had ladies in my studios, they would train really, really hard. And I'd give them like simple meal plans to follow, but that's only going to take you so far. And eventually, you know, a few months into training and eating well, your results are not going to continue to get better if you're not aware of the metrics that you need to be aware of, as in, this is how much I weigh. This is how much my body, my biology requires me to have of protein, carbohydrates, fats. And I kid you not, you will waste your time training if you don't understand this information. And I'm not trying to make this scary thing. It's not, but you cannot ignore it. You cannot. So 12 years ago, more, I was competing in shows. So macros were always a part of how I got fit. And because I had seen that front row center on, you know, just tweaking my eating, staying full and satiated impacted my results directly and faster. And it was right then and there. I was like, okay, so this whole show world needs to be brought front and center to the everyday woman who's not trying to get in shape for a show, who just wants to get in shape, be healthy, avoid aging. So 13, 14 years ago, let's say, I was 32, 33. Nobody was worried about sarcopenia or osteoporosis. The concern was, how do we lose baby weight? And so I would be sitting there, you know, talking about the theory of macros and sarcopenia and how you're going to avoid things like osteoporosis. And if you don't have enough muscle, you're not going to keep the body fat off. And a lot of them, like in one ear out the other, just get me skinny and fit, Sue. I just want to get back into my pre-pregnancy genes. So a lot has changed since then. Now I'm 47 next week. And now, because Dr. Marie Claire is aware of the benefits of strength training for menopause women, we cannot ignore the food requirement. And so because every menopause doctor is now talking about this, the general public has accepted that this is a part of health. This is not some advanced training for elite athletes. Far from it. I always used to say, I'm like, the everyday woman needs this more than the everyday athlete. The everyday athlete is just, their lifestyle is by nature doing what it needs to do for them. It's the everyday woman that needs to learn this, understand it, and be aware that this is what's going to reverse your health. It's going to reverse damage, and it's also going to keep you away from deadly diseases. So this is not just like a, you know, fluffy little presentation of, you know, hey, let's just like learn something and, you know, lose some weight. No, 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 no. This is all going to be based on science. It's going to be based on biology, how the body works, and what every human woman requires. So nobody is free from this kind of information. Or what, how can I say it? Not free, but like can be ignorant about it. We all have to take, and I mean, I could share tons of stories right now. I'm not going to, because I have you for like an hour and I got to get through this information. And I strongly think that there's going to be a part 2, because I don't think I'm going to get through all of it. So stay tuned. It'll probably be next week at the same time. Just because there's that much information. So kind of feel like I want this up here, but okay. What are macronutrients, right? It's this term that's being thrown around. I think when I introduce it to women, even to this day, actually almost every other phone call, I'd say 50% of the phone calls that I do, 50% of the phone calls that I do will say to me, oops, get back. No, when I say to them, have you ever done any macronutrient tracking? And they, 5 times out of 10, they say, no, what's that? And so that's why, like, I really want to make this as simple as possible, especially for women who, like, this is the first time you're hearing these terms and you're very confused because all of a sudden everybody is talking about it and you're just kind of like, what? So what are macronutrients? Macronutrients is what provides us with calories, energy. So it's actually 4 groups. There's 4 groups. It's carbs, it's protein, it's fats, and the 4th macronutrient is alcohol, which we're not talking about today. So whoever decided, every food needs to fall into those. I don't know when this was decided, but probably around the time where they figured out how to determine a calorie of a food, they determined, well, what is this food? So back in, I don't, maybe it's like, who knows, the 1900s, 1800s was when like nutrition first started being explored in this way. And so, you know, scientists or whoever they were back then were taking a sweet potato and going, what does this do for the body? How does it affect the body? Does it give us energy? Does it satisfy us? Does it repair us? What is it doing? And so from there came, oh, how do we figure out what is a calorie? Okay, I'm just seeing if, okay. I'm making sure it's not my assistants messaging me like, Sue, you're muted or something. So macros are protein, carbs, fats. Let's just call it that. And so every food, you take a whole food, steak. Well, what is it? We know steak is a protein. Why? What makes it a protein? Well, they have some kind of way, it's very scientific, of figuring out what makes up a food. And so not every food falls into one category. For example, eggs. Eggs contain protein, carbs, and fat, but its majority, whatever its majority is, then it's considered that. So steak, majority of the calories of a steak come from protein. And there is a scientific, there is a calculation how they figure out the carb. So this might be over your head right now, but for those that it's not, 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. And that's how we figure out, oh, this chicken breast, it's 120 calories. Well, how do we know that? Well, because it consists of 20 grams of protein, multiply that by 4 equals 24, 80 calories, right? Fats are different. 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. It's heavier, right? So, but I'm not going to get into that. That is not what we're here for. So we have to wrap our head around, okay, these are the 3 categories of foods that I should be eating from: protein, carbs, fat. As simple as that photo that you see in front of you. So why do I need carbs and fats? That's our energy source. Why do I need protein? That's for muscle and tissue maintenance. Each macronutrient plays a different role in your metabolism. Okay? It's either going to give us energy to sustain a workout, or it's going to repair the tissue we might have damaged and build new tissue. So you see how already from that statement right there makes you think, that means I can't omit carbs, I can't omit fats, and I can't omit proteins because I need my body to have an energy source, and I also need my body to repair itself. So let's talk about the first macro, carbohydrates. There are two types of carbs. There's simple and complex. What's a simple carb? A simple carb is one that hits your blood sugar and can raise it very fast. A complex carb is slower. So during menopause, hormones are fluctuating. It can cause blood sugar levels going up and down. So 1 minute you're tired, the next minute you're moody, the next minute you're irritable. So imagine your body is already going through these changes. So what if I give it pure sugar for energy? What's going to happen? Well, I'm probably going to crash. It's going to make me more moody. I'm going to be hungry. My body is already going through this. I'm just now contributing to it. So what's the better option? I want to give my body complex carbs. Vegetables are considered a carbohydrate. I think most people, when they think carbohydrate, they think breads. Vegetables are carbohydrates. Vegetables are the best source of energy because it comes with a lot of fiber that's going to keep you full. And it's sustained energy. So it's a slow digestion. Other carbs, sweet potato, brown rice, oatmeal, quinoa, those are really good sources of complex carbs. And we need them. We need carbohydrates, a combination of vegetables and starchy, low starch, fibrous, not sugar carbs, but we need the good sources of carbs for energy, for mood, for blood sugar balance. You also need it to get through your workouts and build muscle. You need energy to do the workout that you can push hard enough to actually build the muscle. Make sense? High fiber foods can enhance satiety and prevent overeating. The number one, and every single one of my members is going to let you in on a big secret right now. If I ask them, ladies, what food was the biggest change for you upon entering my program? I hope they get it right. They should. They should. And they're all going to say the same thing, I hope. So let's get some answers here from the veterans. Ladies, what food group made the biggest difference? Sonia, veggies. Yep. Cindy, veggies. The ladies know, more vegetables, that the minimum requirement for vegetables is 16 to 20 ounces. And yes, we weigh it. There's the secret. And that's why my ladies are full. They're satiated. Their skin looks amazing. Their blood sugar levels are balanced. They're not hangry anymore. And their moods balance. Let's go to the next macro, protein. I'm not going to say it's the most important, but again, it's like if we don't nail down these amounts correctly, you will not see weight loss and you will not see muscle develop to hold that weight that you've lost. So protein builds and repairs tissues, including muscle. 9 times out of 10, I get on a call with a woman and I will ask her to run me through her diet. And 9 times out of 10, she will say to me, so I eat Greek yogurt, toast with avocado in the morning. Or what's another famous answer? I'll have like one egg with a piece of toast and some yogurt. And then they'll move on to lunch and they'll say, well, I have like some vegetables, a salad sometimes, and with chickpeas and kidney beans or something. And sometimes I'll have chicken. It's always sometimes. One of the number one reasons, let's call it number two reason, you ladies aren't losing weight is because you're not understanding how much protein you need to lose weight. How much protein should I be eating? Well, there's a calculation and it's going to be based on your weight. But by the end of this session, you're going to all do a handwritten macronutrient meal plan for yourself. And that will just provide you with a guideline to start somewhere. Just start somewhere. So why is macro number 2, protein, so important? Well, like I said before, 12, 13 years ago, everybody was concerned with losing body weight, baby weight. Now, when we lose estrogen, okay, estrogen is also responsible for bone density. So that's why when your bones aren't dense, what are they? Brittle. They'll break. And so if my bone density is softer, less, and my muscle is also declining, what do you think is going to happen? You get things like osteoporosis and sarcopenia. So protein, when we eat enough of it, maintains bone density. At around in your 40s, you still have a very good chance of developing great muscle if you're eating well. Around your 50s, it's a lot harder. So it is essential that you shift your eating to include the proper, I'm not saying more, I'm saying proper amount of protein that's going to allow you to build the muscle you're losing, because that's the only way you're going to lose weight. Because muscle, it burns. The more muscle you have on your body, the easier it is to maintain your weight and lose weight because of your BMR. Me sitting here, I've got, what was it again? 55 skeletal muscle mass. That makes it very easy for me to maintain my weight. But do you understand what I have to go through in a week of strength training? It is not fun. Okay, it is. It's fun. I do enjoy it, but it's all the time. It's 3 days a week. I cannot not do a strength training less than 3 days a week. Or what will happen is my muscle will go down because of my declining estrogen levels, and my fat will take over and I'll slowly start to gain weight. So it's very, very important that you understand protein has to be sufficient enough for you to build muscle. Okay. And it's very simple. It's very simple. Got to eat it 3-4 times a day at the minimum required amount. That's it. Your weight loss will be faster and you'll keep it off. Number 3, fats. So we need fats. That's why we need fats, because there's so many reasons. You know, one of the reasons I know I need fats is my bowel movements. When you're approaching menopause, the mucus in your body decreases. That can make you very dry. And that's as a result of estrogen again. So guess what else is dry? Your bowel movements. They're not smooth, they're not regular, and what's that going to affect? Your digestive system. If your digestive system is slow, your weight loss will be slower. Just works like that. So during menopause, Lots of changes, again, especially in estrogen again. Omega-3 fatty acids are going to help with things like hot flashes and mood swings. So we're not big on supplements, but I will say this, that, and I always say this, whatever your doctor says you should be taking in terms of supplements, you should. Omega-3 is one of those things, but you have to speak with your doctor about it. But, you can get plenty of good fats from your foods if you're eating correctly. So we want the omega-3. We also want to make sure that we're eating a variety of healthy fats. So like all those ones you see up there, we got olive oil, avocado, nuts, and fatty fish. Those right there. And chia, there's chia there. But again, you need the proper amount. And so there's just a side note, there's a lot of the omega-3 companies or at pharmacies, you can see they have these home tests for omega-3, and they're quite popular now. And you pinprick your finger, you put it in the, what's it called? The little sample thing. You mail it back to them, and they'll tell you how bad your levels are. And then you'll know, okay, I have to be taking this much omega-3 right now. And you can significantly increase it within, I believe it's 4 to 6 weeks. You'll see a huge difference in your brain, in your mental capacity, your mood, your cognition, just you being more alert, awake, your ability to remember things. So here are some foods. So like I said before, like some foods, and this is where a lot of confusion lies. So again, I'll get on a phone call with women and they'll say to me, well, I eat dairy because, it's a good source of protein. Let's go look at dairy. Dairy is a good source of carbohydrates and fats to me, because look at it. What's it consist of mostly? What is overpowering everything? The carbs. Dairy is a good source of carbs. Dairy is not a good source of fats to me. I mean, protein. You can test your omega-3 levels at, like, they have a pharmaceutical. At the pharmacy, they have like little kits. I would ask the pharmacist. So let's look at an egg. 6 grams of protein, but it also comes with 5 grams of fat. So you have to be aware. That's why these apps that can help you track your macros, they're taking that egg and they're putting it, how much is going into protein, how much is going into fat, how much is going into carbs, so that you have an accurate view of what am I eating in a day. So let's say we're going to do this later. If I took oats and eggs and avocado and I made that into a meal, how balanced is it really? That's what I want to know. Is it too heavy in carbs and fat and too low in protein? These are things I need to know as a woman. And I'm going to show you later why and how that works and how to calculate. Do a very simple day, very simple, and just write it out. Follow that meal plan. So why do macros matter? We went through a few of these. We're going to go through them again. Body composition. So the macros determine how the body burns fat, retains muscle, and functions efficiently. The proteins promote muscle maintenance and growth. We talked about that, which is vital for a higher metabolic rate, which is going to burn more fat. Fats provide us with energy and support metabolic functions without contributing to excessive fat storage when consumed in healthy forms. Carbs fuel workouts, activities. It prevents the body from breaking down muscle for energy. So you need the proper amounts of protein, fats, and carbs so that you get the right body composition. So that's why these fad diets that are no carb and keto and low fat and too high protein, they're never going to work. They're never going to, you need all three macros as a woman. If you're not competing in the Olympics, you need all three macros in a very balanced macronutrient plan. Energy and performance. So proper macro balance helps regulate energy levels, which can fluctuate during menopause. So as mentioned, like if we're not getting the right amount of carbs, we're not going to get the right amount of energy when we need it. We're going to get energy spikes. If we're not getting the right amounts of fats, we're not going to be hungry. We're going to be hungry when we shouldn't be. If we're not getting the right amount of protein, we're not going to manage our blood sugar levels and muscle function. Hormonal support. The right balance can support hormonal changes and reduce negative symptoms. So what I'm trying to do here is like illustrate that this is not only necessary for your physical, but your mental health. Like in order for you to successfully achieve what it is you're trying to achieve, which is assuming healthy weight and a healthy body, your hormones need to be supported. And if the hormones are supported properly with food, you're going to get there faster and you're going to stay there. So that's why, like, yeah, there's like 10 ways to skin a cat, right? I can tell anybody to do anything for 3 months and they're going to do it. I can tell them, I can get somebody to lose on keto. I can get you to do anything for 3 months, but what's at the end of it all? How are you going to sustain it? You won't. Your hormones need to be balanced because if you do anything drastic, the first thing that's going to suffer is your hormones and you won't be able to support the weight loss. So healthy fats such as omega-3 and omega-6 are vital for the production of hormones like estrogen and progesterone, which fluctuate during menopause. Proteins supply the building blocks for hormone creation and enzyme production. Carbohydrates support the body's energy needs, which can affect hormone production and balance. So this is why, like, everyone's taking such a shortcut approach of slapping another diet and not studying. You need to understand these reasons in order for you to do this successfully. Macros for strength and muscle development. So building muscle in menopause, it's critical. Muscle synthesis. So protein provides the essential amino acids needed for muscle protein synthesis. Daily intake, ensuring adequate daily intake of protein, so around 1 to 1.2 grams per kilo of body, is especially important for women who are engaging in strength training. Engaging in resistance exercises, weightlifting, resistance band, body weight stimulates muscle growth and enhances the anabolic effects of protein, which is building muscle. Recovery and repair. Fats and carbs aid in muscle repair and energy replenishment post-workout. Fatty fish, flax seeds, walnuts have anti-inflammatory properties, which can aid in reducing muscle soreness and promote recovery. So one of the first things I tell women in the program is, you know, workout, I'm not too concerned. I want the food to do its work. I want the food to dramatically improve your inflammation in your body so that the food will work for you, not against you, and you'll be able to work out. And I am confident that your body is now repairing itself because it can, because you're giving it the right nutrients. So they go hand in hand. You cannot, that's why I kind of chuckle when people tell me, I say, how are you losing weight? They say, well, I hired a personal trainer. What else? Yeah, I hired a personal trainer. Personal trainer is not going to help you eat properly. Very doubtful. I have yet to see a personal trainer that is going to plan your meal plan properly for you, that's going to support these actions so that your hormones are balanced during what you're trying to do, which is weight loss. Hormone production. Fats are crucial for the synthesis of hormones that regulate muscle growth and repair. So, you know, beyond the weight loss, it's going to improve your strength, helps you through your metabolic rate, mobility, and your quality of life. You're going to feel amazing. So, benefits of tracking. Proper macro distribution will enhance fat burning potential. So if you're that lady that is going to get something, you're killing yourself at the gym, right? And you're coming home and you think you're eating healthy and you're having like a tiny little salad and a little bit of chicken and some water and you're starving. In a little picture. And you're starving. You're like, yep, that's the way it has to be done. This is my assumptions in life. This is how I lose weight. Dr. Bernstein starved me. Weight Watchers starved me. This is how no. You need to understand, because you know, my fear is when I don't track macros, I'm leaving food on the table and I'm a very hungry person. So I want the last gram of food that I am allowed. And I will never know that if I'm not tracking and weighing my food. You'll leave food on the table, and that sucks because you're going to walk away from that table very hungry. Muscle preservation, again, very important for sarcopenia. Improves energy and mood. Tracking helps stabilize energy and mood swings during menopause. So when you're not tracking, you could go either way. You're going to overconsume the wrong macros. Because if you start your day with this, your little salad, your little slices of chicken breast and water, guess what's happening at night? Crackers, cookies. You started the day great with great intentions, but because you didn't put any thought into it, you left food on the table and you're going to overeat at night or on the weekend. Because your body is smarter than you. Muscle loss. So under consuming protein will accelerate muscle loss. So you're killing yourself at the gym and you're continuing to lose muscle because you're not eating adequate amounts of protein. And energy imbalance, mismanagement of carbs and fats will lead to energy crashes, right? What the big mistake you made in the morning at lunch. Eating a tiny bit, or my favorite, breakfast, a Greek yogurt, breakfast, yogurt, fruit, and yesterday a lady told me granola. Do you know what that entire meal is made up of? Carbs and fat. Remember? There's barely any protein in yogurt. There's more carbs and fat. So, how does macros affect weight loss? So when our macros are balanced and we decrease, so what a lot of people think is calorie deficit equals weight loss. Calorie deficit is nothing without macro balance. So you can be very full and satiated if you have a proper macro plan, but and the same calories as somebody who, you know what, Holly, if you're on here, I just thought of something. If you can bring the Jason slide of his foods, I'd like to see that in here if you have time to add it. Protein, we discussed it. Its role in fat loss, retains muscle, and carbs. So we're not going to talk about that or that. Fiber is very important. Okay, this is what I want you to do. This is a lot of numbers right now. So I'm going to walk you through this because we're going to build your own personal macro plan. It's just going to be like an overview. And we're going to, that way you have something that you can follow at home. So you're going to take your weight. I'm going to give you a very simple way of figuring out what your diet, I want to say deficit calories. I don't like saying diet, but a lot of people don't understand what I mean by deficit. Sounds like a finance thing. So calorie deficit is like your diet calories. So I'm going to write at the top, Suzanne's diet calories. Okay. So you take your current weight. This is the easiest way. I weigh 124 pounds. I should be eating, multiply that by 10. I should be eating 1,240 calories to about 1,340 calories max if I want to lose weight. So you're going to take your current weight, you're going to multiply it by 10 and add 100 calories. In and around there is your deficit. So now I have my new number, right? 1,340. Okay. I'm going to multiply 1,340 times 40%, and we're going to call that protein. I want 40% of my calories to come from protein. Sounds like a good number, right? Makes sense, even to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Yeah, I do want 40% of my calories to come from protein. Yeah, makes sense. Did you write that down? So that is, get your calculators. $1,340 times 0.4, 536 calories, 36 calories equals protein. You're going to do one more calculation. We're going to figure out the grams. The grams. How many grams is 536 calories of protein? How many grams is it? I'm going to divide that by 4. So this is like this is how I used to coach people before Fitness Pal. This is what we did. And it's simple. It's kind of the step 1 before you graduate to doing it on Fitness Pal, which is more accurate. But I can guarantee you, if you follow your paper, you will lose weight. So see my little calculation, 536 divided by 4 equals 134 grams of protein. Grams. We're going to show you in the next slide what an egg is, what a this is, what a that is, okay? Next one, number 2, we need carbs. Carbs. I would like 35% of your total calories to come from carbs. Sounds pretty good, right? Pretty balanced. I'm going to eat 40% from my protein. I'm going to eat 35% from carbs. I can see how people, if they didn't do this calculation, would probably overconsume carbs and underconsume protein, right? Doesn't that make sense now? I can see how. Yeah, so I'm only supposed to eat 536 protein. How much carbs should I eat? Well, again, 1,340 times 0.35 equals carb. Are you guys following along? Are you getting your numbers? So we're going to do that. 1,340 times 0.35, 469, 469 calories equals carbs. Now, carbs and protein have the same value. 1 gram of carb is 4 calories. 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. So I need to figure out the grams for this carbohydrate. Divide that by 4. So 469 divided by 4 is 117 grams of carbs. I'm going to show you a real life example now. I'm supposed to, this is going to make it make sense. Let's say the only carbohydrate I have is this bread. So This bread tells me that it has 30 grams per slice. So if I'm allowed 117 grams in a day, now, if I had an egg has some carb as well. So if I'm allowed 117, I could have 2 or 3 slices because that's going to give me 60 to 90 grams of carbs. Make sense? But so this food has also, like, how much is the protein in this food? 4 grams. So 117 grams of carbs. We need the third calculation, fat. Fat, which this will make sense. 1 gram of fat. So 1 gram of carb is 4 calories. 1 gram of fat is 9. It's higher. It's going to contain more calories. So that's why the fat calculation is going to be 25% of my calories are going to come from fat. So let's write that down. So 1340 times 0.25 equals is 335 calories are fat. You divide that by 9, it'll give you the grams. And the reason why you need grams is because all these foods give you the gram content on their labels, and that's how we track. So divide that by 9, it's 37. 37 grams. Okay. So now this way you're going to do. On your next page, you're going to do protein, carbs, fat, like that. And you're going to say 134, 117, oops, and 37. And this, my friends, is now your Bible. So who got their numbers using that same method? Who's got their numbers? Oops. Anyone? You got your numbers? Did you write it down? Okay, so moving on. Let's do. This is a masterclass. You have to come ready to work. Okay, so how do we figure out what we're going to eat? So if I need 134 grams of protein, you're going to look not at the weight of the item. A lot of people get that confused. 100 grams of chicken is only 31 grams of protein. Okay, so my chicken breast is like this big. If I put it on a scale, it's going to say 100. It's not going to tell me what's in it. It's going to say 100 grams of chicken. It's not 100 grams of protein. So I'm going to make a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner. So my breakfast, let's say, is going to be 1 cup egg white, which is 26 protein, carbs, fat. Okay. So this is what I'm doing. There's going to be a document in the group page for you to track this. We're going to just do breakfast. For lunch, I want chicken breast, 31. And for dinner, I'm going to have salmon, 25. Okay. Now, what is that total to? $31 plus 25 plus 26 it's 82. 82. What's my goal, guys? My goal is 134. Okay. So a good place to start for all women is 100 grams minimum. For me to get to the 100 grams, that's my minimum too. That's like on my bad days that I wasn't like eating enough. 100 grams is my minimum. So I'm going to add a protein shake, has 30 grams. Shake. 2, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now I'm at 112 grams of protein. Okay. See how easy that is? Anybody not understanding? So now carbs. Let's say I had, with my lunch, I'm going to have oats. And I should have vegetables in there, but they're not, and we don't have time. Oats is going to be 56 grams. And let's say we're going to have a slice of bread, which is 30. And probably some leafy greens is going to be another 30 greens. Okay, so greens, oats, and bread. Okay, so here's my greens, 30 grams of carbs. Here's my oats, 56 grams of carbs. And here's my bread, 30. Let's add that. 30, 60, 120 minus 4, it's about 116 grams of carbs. And then you would do the same with fats. So you see how I'm building my meal plan? You see how that works? Is it making sense? Greens would not have 30 grams of carbs. Greens would, you could add greens to every meal and it's only going to have 10 at most. Greens, maybe 15. And that's why greens are your best friend. Because you can have a lot of greens and it takes up such little carb space and it keeps you full. Yeah, I would say their cheat sheet with grams weight for majority, or do we need to calculate each? We searched this. There's lots of resources on Google, but you'll find like there's stuff on here I would never use, like farro and black bean, you know? So what I would do is just Google, that's a great question. Google your top 5, 10 carbohydrate sources that you love. And write those on so that you have your cheat sheet. And then Google your 10. Or you can even use like an app like FitnessPal and look them up and then have it on your piece of paper. you know, make a little. So next, let's keep going here. So the next one is fats. We would have had, you know, a tablespoon of olive oil here. The fats go by fast. So just eyeball, look, if I chose 3 of those fats, oh, lo and behold, I'm already at my fat count. See how that gets used up very easily? See how why we have to calculate? So look, you have a meal plan. 1 cup egg whites with greens. That's your breakfast. Lunch we said was salmon, or no, chicken with oats, obviously not brown rice, let's say, and greens. And dinner is salmon with bread and greens. Your fats are going to be like any of those cooking oils, salad oils. Maybe you're going to have some peanut butter on your toast, you know, but see how quickly the fats get used up. On average, women should only be having like maximum 4 different fats in those amounts. Here is, hold on. Let me refresh this. So, I just want to put into perspective when we do macros and how. So in phase 1, when we're teaching, like in my program, we're just learning about the qualities of food. And in phase 2 is where we start to track macros and we do this kind of work on FitnessPal. And then we go into, because it's so important you understand macros for your reverse diet. The reverse diet is the final phase of the program where, so now we've taught you how to bring your calories down and track it. Now we have to teach you how to bring your calories up and track it and continue the journey. Okay, so that's how we approach it. We don't just throw you into macros. That's why I wanted to make this presentation very basic and simple as this. So if you have, I have this made up for my son. Okay, look. My son expressed interest in eating properly. This is how basic it is. This is a very macro balanced plan. And I just wanted him to see, here are the types of foods you can have in each meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and you can swap things. Very simple, very easy. Okay, making sense? So you might kind of be like, that's it. That's it. This is how simple it should be. So pick your 5 proteins, pick your 5 fats, pick your 5 carbs, and mix and match. If using a fitness tracker, will this do? Yeah, if you use FitnessPal. Franca, are you in the program? Why do I feel like you're in the program? Yes. Yes. So you're ahead of this. You understand it. Yeah. This is all old news for you. Any questions from anybody? Questions? Oh, where's the Holly is so there's a macros tracker, which is just a like a little sheet that you can write on. And no, but Holly, can you upload it to the Facebook group page? Let me, here it is. Okay, Google. Upload it to the Facebook group page. It is. Okay, so ladies, in your Facebook group page is this little tracker. And it is, it's just going to help you kind of, do this, separate it, and just make up yourself like a nice little um schedule so that you can track. Okay. Simple, easy. Use just what you know. Okay, everyone, if there's no questions, then we're going to end this call. If you're interested in learning about the program and just hopping on a call with me and understanding the 3 different phases, thank you, Franca. Holly, can you post the link in the Facebook group page and here to book a call? And we can chat with you and just let you know how we do things and talk more. Thank you, Neetha, for being here. Thank you, Pat. And yeah, that's it. If you want some more information, we're happy to speak with you. There's the book a call link if anybody wants it. Hi, Nadia. Yay. You're welcome, Angie. Thank you. Come to the Menopause show. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Josie. Thank you, Pat. Thanks, Rita. See your heart. Hi, Adriana. Adri. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.